preferred to avoid the city streets. Rebel cells and civilians both attempted to fight back once they had heard of what had happened beyond the walls. They stood no chance. Expect heavy resistance.
Oh, I will. Welcome back. This is Sprawl. We're now in part 2, but we're still on episode 1 in the game itself. I wanted to try and get a chance to practice the upcoming boss encounter. Yes, this game has bosses, as I mentioned, although they are interesting. Okay, so the first one that we're gonna face is... it's not traditional, in the sense that you're really supposed to shoot like a weak spot, but it doesn't really work. You'll see what I mean. I'm not going to give away too much. The rest of them are okay, though, to be fair. We're making our way through these city streets, and yeah, this is...
Streets immediately. That parking garage is our only option. It'll take you across the rooftops to an older part of the city.
Okay. Oh, access denied. You know what that means. We got to get our Duke Nukem on fighting...
I cannot bypass that lock, but I've tracked down the key card. It was dropped by a squad that encountered resistance.
Okay, I guess we're gonna have to go find it.
Currently in an apartment a few blocks from your location. Enemy reinforcements are positioned along the route there. Take them out.
Oh, the shotgun. I'm so glad we have this now. The game's gonna be so much more fun from this point on. But yeah, we gotta go find our key card. As I was saying, though, I adore urban environments like these. They feel so just fresh and full of stuff, even though they're not. Like, this is actually very empty for the most part, but just the enemies, I mean, everything about this screams utopian dystopia. I don't know how to say it. It's like, this place doesn't look like it'd be great to live in, but I really like visiting it virtually in this kind of environment. It's really fantastic, and the art design is really second to none in this kind of game, especially considering its small team, you know? And I know it's not that impressive anymore nowadays to see something this high quality from a small team. I mean, there's games that are even better than this made by one person, sure. But come on, credit where credit's due. Bullet time is always fun. I'm sorry if I'm using a little bit too much. Maybe it seems like it's kind of abusive to, like, you know, just use it this many times in a row, like on almost every single shot. It's just so satisfying. It's not even a matter of making it easier to hit the target, because, I mean, yes, it is easier to hit your target when it's moving slower, but it's so fun. Like, it just feels kind of hollow not using it in this kind of game. And that is something that kind of concerns me a bit, like how many games are going to be using this as a crutch, because, like, so many games have stuff like this nowadays. It's interesting that it took so long for it to catch on, because Fear did this shit in 2005. But it took quite a few years for it to become, like, really popular in a lot of different kinds of games. I mean, even fucking platformers do it. You know, Mega Man 11 with the double gear system. And I think it's great. I mean, it's more so a testament to the level of sophistication of game engines that they're able to manipulate time in this way without any major issues. Because I can imagine that being quite complicated to slow down the, you know, well, no, it's not slowing down the calculation, I imagine, but, like, the way that the game handles, like, physics and stuff like that. It's just... I'm surprised nothing breaks every time you do this. Like, I don't know anything about game programming, but I imagine this would be a tricky exercise. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's, like, super simple, and that's why everyone does it. Possibly. I mean, usually it's like when something is very common, it's probably because it's not very difficult to execute. Boy, that we can find that in a lot of different things. But as it is, wearables, look at all this text that I can't read. And again, I love how, look at that. It looks damn near real from this angle. You get a little closer and it's not quite so real, but it doesn't matter. And that's my whole point with this game. It's, you don't need textures to be 4K and stuff. Look at this. This shit looks amazing. You can play this at whatever resolution you want. It'll look good. Look at that. Wow. Let's see if we can figure out where to go. I'm assuming you have to go down here. We're still looking for that key card. This game doesn't go too crazy with the key cards. This is not, you know, that much of an old school shooter in the sense that, oh, go find like 4 different keys. No. It's pretty easy to... Ooh, elevator. Gotta edit in some elevator music. No. That fucking cliche D major 7 Kevin MacLeod music that's like... Doom, doo, doo, doom, doo, 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 that everyone uses. God, that guy's a legend. Alright. Ooh. What is this? It's a dead body.
Interesting.
What?
Well done. However, we're not done yet. You'll have to work your way back to the garage. Going through the streets is no longer viable. You'll have to take the same route as whoever's handiwork this was.
I'm not sure what you mean by whoever's handiwork this was, but I can walk around the streets no problem. I don't know what your problem is. Wow, look at all this bloom. We still haven't gotten past the bloom era. No, I think bloom nowadays is much more tastefully used compared to how it used to be, where it was just smeared a whole fucking screen in Vaseline and call that like good lighting. Not that I'm not nostalgic for that look, because absolutely, I mean that shit was my childhood, man. You know, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Race Driver Grid. I guess Grand Theft Auto 4. Well, that game isn't that bloomy, to be fair. It is very dull looking color-wise. That game is really interesting for me, because I never played it. I've never played it, actually, to this day, but I am kind of nostalgic for it because, I mean, the internet, obviously. It's definitely possible to be nostalgic for things vicariously. You know, there's so many games I've never played, and yet, like, they feel like a part of me. Like most Zelda games, actually. I know everything about them, even though I've never played a single... Actually, I have, again, I think I've played Ocarina of Time for, like, 10 minutes, and... have I ever played Wind Waker? No, I've never played Wind Waker. I think I tried playing A Link to the Past once. But either way, the thing about GTA 4 was that, yeah, I've never played it, and here's the funny thing. It's one of those games, it has this very Half-Life 2 sort of quality where I swear it might just be because of the main character, but that game doesn't feel, even if you're playing it and you know you're playing like a legitimate copy from Rockstar Games themselves, there's something pirated feeling about it. Like the whole time I'm looking at it, the sound effects, the camera angles, the colors, and I'm just like, wow, this looks like some weird cracked game, even though...
Lowered a crane. I may not be able to disable the blockades, but you should be able to jump over them.
Okay. Even though that's not really how it works, I mean, we're long past the days of, ooh, the weird Russian bootleg version of the game. No, it's just, I don't know. It's especially like the sound design, like the sounds you get with notifications in the game, and maybe it's something to do with the fact that the main character is Eastern European, yeah, maybe. But Half-Life is as American as it gets, but Half-Life 2 like feels like a game from where I live, to be fair, because the art design, which has a massive impact on how a game feels, was made by someone who used to live here. So that's some bonus points for me. We're gonna have to do a little... Oh, of course, it's right here. I don't like this, though. The game sometimes strips control away from you, like I can't move. And there are times when there's enemies nearby, and I'm not even kidding, I've had times when... The hell do I do? Oh, of course. That's not very clear, game. You can't really do that. Wait, is this where I'm supposed to go? Okay, hold on. I think I'm supposed to... Yeah, okay. That's what I gotta do. Maybe we should have put a different texture just to make that stand out more. Regardless, we're just gonna keep moving on through the stage. And, yeah, so I'm going to try and keep this playthrough significantly less cut-heavy, just because I feel like this game really does deserve for you to not have the flow kind of interrupted by an edit. Like, I can do that with, like, a jumpy, well, whatever, goofy fucking platformer or something like that, or even a more intense first-person shooter where it would make sense, but this game is very much, it has its pace. Oh, I'm not supposed to go there. Okay. I'm going to assume the direction in which the game's pointed me is the direction I have to go. So let's do some parkour. Wait, am I? Yeah, no, I'm definitely going the right way. Yep, we're going this way. I'm going to keep moving through. Oh, wait, that's what he meant. Yes, you can easily jump over it. Yes. You know, every time I see something like this, the video game part of my brain kicks in and I'm like, wait, I'm not supposed to be able to jump over that. There's going to be an invisible wall. No. It's not that cliched. You can actually jump over it because it has a physical presence within the world. Are you going to talk? No? Okay, Dad. I guess you're not going to talk. Boom. Yeah, because as we found out last time, his name is Fodder. I still... Am I weird that, like, even though I'm not of the correct generation, every time I hear that, I just think of Star Wars? Like, I shouldn't. I should think of something else, but I can't really think of anything else. Whatever. Killing more enemies as you do, looking at the fire, because I love freaking low res but still high fidelity fire like this. This is like my favorite aesthetic. And you know another aesthetic that I found very common in a lot of you know, more recent indie platformers? It's like, okay, the Octopath Traveler aesthetic, if that makes sense. So pixel art, except it's obviously running in a 3D engine with a bunch of bloom and modern effects and such. It's not a super, like, new thing. The games from even the start of the 2010s have been doing this, but it's just very common. Like, you go on GOG, sort by platformer, and you'll find, like, 10 games like that in the first 2 seconds, you know? And I do think there's definitely a charm to it. There's this very evergreen modernity sort of thing going on with that art direction. There's just something about intentionally making your game look a bit old while still taking advantage of the new things that creates like this beautiful blend that makes it feel eternal. Doom eternal. But really, like this game, for example, actually, it doesn't feel... I guess it doesn't feel contemporary, which makes it feel more modern, because everything is dated, right? Even something brand new is dated to right now, and it'll become old. But there are things that you can kind of manipulate the way the art direction is stylized that can make things feel forever. For example, like a lot of pixel art games. Ooh, I feel like there's going to be some dialogue here. I'm going to shut up for a little bit, because there might be some talking. No? You're not going to talk? Whoa, look at the screen. Oh, what's that say? Ah, shit, I can't read that. Wait, actually, I can read that. FOV, 20. There you go. Configure network interface. Configure link aggregation. Configure VLAN interface. Default... What was it? Configure default route. Static routes, TMS. Reboot, shutdown. You may try the following URL. Wow, I love that. Okay, that's actually really great. FOV 120, there you go, so we don't die. Yeah, I've become much more of an FOV snob as of late. I'm not really sure why. I think I would be one my whole life because I've been playing PC my whole life. I want one of these, but my table isn't big enough to fit a FURD monitor. At least a FURD 16 by 9, 27 point something inch. I'm not sure. I don't remember the exact dimensions of my monitors, but I've been thinking of getting a FURD one, but like a smaller one, just for extra information. But like, what exactly would I put there? You know, it's like, it's cool to have one, but what would I put there? It's like, I got my OBS preview on my second one, and even then, I actually hide it now because it distracts me, so right now it's hidden. I'm not actually seeing the game being recorded. I'm just seeing the little blue, you know, now we're recording, cool, but that's it. I'm not necessarily looking at what because like it's weird like getting double vision, you know, seeing both at the same time, and it's just like, don't do that. But yeah, it's just I'm trying to justify it in my head, like what the hell would I do with a FURD one? Absolutely nothing, to be honest. I mean, unless I dedicate the whole thing to the task manager, you know, something that takes up like 1% of the screen, because you can like make it really small and you don't have, it doesn't have to be full screen. Oh, there you go. No enemies, right? Okay, good. Because there was this one time when there was an enemy right here that I couldn't shoot it because the game... Oh, it does let me shoot, though, to be fair. Huh, I guess maybe I could have just shot it. That's a good point. I guess we're still going through this level. Yeah, I should expect it to be a little bit longer. Look at all these cracks in the walls. Whoa, we're in Half-Life 2 now. Get some stuff. Most of the... See, look at this. It's like it just looks like a blob of yellow. Even though you can walk up to it, and it's like, yes, it does have its own details, absolutely. But it kind of bothers me that maybe this graphic setting right here... Let's see. No. I don't know what this does. This hide world pickups. Oh, I have to restart the level. Maybe one of two things. It either completely, like, eliminates pickups, which I doubt that, or it just makes them not glowy. But I don't want to have to restart the level to make them not glowy. So I guess we're just going to keep playing with glowy pickups, aren't we? Just going to keep moving through, parkouring on the rooftops. This is what people were talking about when they said this game had a little bit of Mirror's Edge in its DNA. This is a very much a collection of things that have already been done kind of game, but it just does it really well. And there's really nothing wrong with that. I'd rather have a game do a bunch of things that have already been tried and true in its own unique way than something that tries something completely unique and then maybe it just doesn't work all that well. You can do unique, absolutely. That's what's called innovation, but it's hard. Not everyone can do it super well. It just kind of comes out like very few games can really pull it off in a way that feels like it's been around already, that doesn't feel gimmicky. You know, it's very difficult to walk that line between something that's progressive and cool and modern and also just kind of, oh, hey, look, we're doing this thing, and Look at it. It's so different. Okay, let's see if I can figure out where to go. Yeah, absolutely. This game's level design has a way of feeling very open, even though you're never lost. Oh, for fuck's sake. Even though you're never lost, right? Like, I get lost very easily in games like this. Like, pretty much anything other than a racing game or a Sonic game or something, I will get lost. Seriously, I needed a freaking walkthrough for some of the missions in Mario Sunshine. Well, okay, one of them is complete dick and deserves to be walkthrough'd. For what was it? The mysterious Serena Hotel. The one in Serena Beach where it's like you gotta go through all these obtuse different areas and... Oh no, I'm dead. Actually, you're not dead. Yeah, that one. I completely just walked through that one. But to be fair, I did remember the solution quite easily, so maybe it's good design, ultimately. I don't know. The illusion of good game design. I have no idea what it is. Let's see if we can figure out where to go from here. I'm guessing we have to go this way. Wait, no. I was just there. Wasn't... No. I came from there. You see? That's... No, I definitely have to go this way, and then... yeah, I feel like I have to go this way, even though I've already stepped on one of these before. But to be fair, games can reuse assets quite frequently, so it's not really surprising if I've already done that. Let's see if we're going the right way now. Damn. Which way is it? Is it this way? Or, oh. I haven't found this one. This was actually new for this playthrough. Because they don't reset. I mean, maybe there's a way to reset them. You can probably delete your save file, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep my save file in case I want to practice some other stage. Yeah, I probably gotta go this way. So let's just do a little double jump. Again, the jumping is limited so that you don't completely break the... Yes! Enemies! Finally! It's like, it's funny how video games have this way of making things that you generally wouldn't want to see something that you very much want to see. I want things to get in my way and try and shoot me because it means that I'm playing the game correctly. Thank you for being a, like, glorified GPS. You let me know exactly where I have to go. Now, still, this game is very much linear. It's very satisfying to pull off. But yeah, look, I'm just using the bullet time because, look, if I try to shoot this guy without it, it happens, sure, but it doesn't feel quite as, like, impactful when you don't have that little bit of slowdown right before. Not to say that okay, there's some games where they will intentionally ever so slightly freeze the action every time you, like, get a hit or something. Some hack and slash games do that, I think. And I don't know if I'm a fan of that because it really is kind of jarring to just have the game suddenly go like, okay, no, I'm going to freeze for like a split second for that impact, because yeah, sometimes it can work, but often it just becomes kind of annoying. Although, you know what, I really miss that thing that Mega Man used to do, where when you pick up like a health pickup, and it freezes the game for just a little bit. Mega Man 11 got rid of that, and really, I know it wasn't the first to get rid of it. I think Powered Up did that as well. Where am I supposed to... Oh, probably here, aren't I? Yep, I remember this section because there's two assholes right here.
I wonder if you have any idea how many you've killed so far, and how many more you will.
Well, that's what stat screens are for. I can find out when I beat this level, I think. This sounded like a very end of level kind of quote, so I imagine that this is the end of the level. Although it's not the end of the episode, of course. Yep. Kills 115. Well, now I know.
These apartments have already been raided. Enemy troop patrols are mostly light. However, I detected they've deployed ghost troops. They seem to be upping their arsenal. Regardless, our objective remains the same. Escape.
Wow, imagine playing something on that. That would be crazy FOV. Oh, what is this? They will not control us. They will not divide us. I can't see that. It's too dark. We will fight. I can't read any of this. It's too dark on my screen. Damn it. Okay, when I played the game for myself, I actually turned the brightness up, but for the video, I'm turning it, back to normal.
The most viable path out of the city is through the water treatment facilities that run below the streets. There is only one access point. The basement of an unfinished building in this sector. Your goal is to make it there by any means necessary.
Okay, so follow the obvious path. Got it. I swear I just saw one of those ninja dudes. This game has ninjas. Kind of. It has these enemies that... Ooh, another QR code. Go ahead and scan that in case that actually does something. I don't know. But yeah, this game has this ninja type enemy that's like half invisible and it's like really fast. It's not like super hard to deal with or anything. It's not like the fucking ninjas in Half-Life that are just, well, okay, they're not ninjas, they're special ops, I think. You know, the ones that, like, this one guy did a video on where he showed how the fucking character models move, and everyone was like, whoa, look at the breets move around on that female character model. Yes, yes, we know. That's why we play video games, isn't it? Well, I mean, it is kind of shocking. Like, when I go to Moby Games or something, and I sort by, you know, newest, any kind of game, especially on Windows, and it's all just not safe for work, and I'm just like, what the fuck? You know, like, I have to really narrow down my filters to, like, get to actual video games, you know? Because that's kind of how I pick the games for this series. It's just, like, I go at Moby Games and see, like, oh, I played this game, or I haven't played this game, for example. I was just on GOG, and I was like, huh, that looks interesting, you know? I had no prior experience with this game when I chose to play it. But then when I did, I was like, yes, I need to do a playthrough of this. This is awesome. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. For example, Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I've been playing that game on my own time, and oh my god, on the easy difficulty, that game is just stupid hard. And look, okay, look at this. You see what's going on right here? Projectile weapons, right? Which means I can dodge them. So if I'm good at the game, I can avoid damage. I can theoretically play this if I practiced enough, even on the hardest difficulty. You know, absolutely. And the slow-mo also helps. But even if I turn the enemy damage all the way up, I imagine I could probably hold my own if I really studied the enemy patterns, because there seems to be, you know, at least from what I can tell, very, very little or no hit scan at all. Okay, someone will probably say, oh, actually, this weapon is hit scan, or whatever. Okay, but for the most part, it doesn't feel like there's anything too hit scanny that, like, just hits you instantly. But with Return to Castle Wolfenstein, I mean, I get that that's a game from like 2001. I can't really be too hard on it, but, well, there are games from before that one that have less hit scan and are more, you know, skill friendly and dodgeable, and can I just, there you go, like that, oh god. And it really annoys me too, because that game has a lot of great qualities. Really good voice acting, actually really funny writing, very, I wouldn't say an incredibly good score, but the music's cool. The game looks pretty damn good for its time. The texture work is very nice. The textures are actually higher resolution than the ones in this game, funnily enough. Yet they don't look quite as crisp. I guess that's probably because they're being filtered. There's probably a console command or something you can use to turn that off. It's a Quake-free engine game, so of course. But yeah, I just don't know if I want to do a playthrough of it anymore, because goddamn, it's not fun. It got to the point where I didn't feel like I was winning because I was good. I was winning because the game has quick saves, so it's kind of impossible not to. But that doesn't mean that I was having a good time necessarily. Like, this game doesn't even have quick saves, and yet, like, I love playing this game. Am I gonna die now? Yes, I'm probably going to die now. I'm very low health, and I'm not that great at this game. Come on. Die. Headshot. Okay, good. Enemies do fortunately drop health. Ah, shit. See, but look at this, though. I avoided a few of those shots. I got hit by, you know, a number of them, but I did avoid a couple of them, and that's because they're not total hit scan. You can just jump around them, you know, move around them. That's great. Oh, no, I've fallen. Damn. But yeah, so that's why I'm oh, for fuck's sake, not again. I'm probably not going to do a playthrough of that game. I might do a single episode of it. It would be very easy for me to convert the thumbnail into a different one, because basically you've probably noticed, like, you know, the whole mint color scheme I have going on with the thumbnails. Well, for my one-off videos, for the ones where it's just going to be one game, like one episode on one game, I'm going to have them be like this yellowish orange kind of combination. I was thinking of red, but then I was like, I don't know, red's a little too YouTuber-y. I'd rather do, like, a more interesting color than that. So I went with, like, this very nice, very warm orange, kind of orange-yellow combination. But yeah, so I can very easily convert the thumbnail of the logo into that. It's a very simple logo as well. Or just even remake it from scratch. It wouldn't be difficult. It took, like, 2 minutes. But that's not the point. The point is that I don't even know if I want to do that game at all. Because it is a very, I don't want to say it's a very story-driven game, but there is very much a plot, and it's very present. You know, like, there's cutscenes, very well-acted cutscenes as well, well-directed for the most part.
Must restore power to that lift. There is a switch, and it should grant you access to the generator close by.
Are you talking about this? Yes. Yeah, so the game is very well presented, and it would be a shame to just do, like, one video on it and just kind of leave it. But at the same time, I don't think a full playthrough would be any good in any regard, be it for me or for you guys. You know, I wouldn't enjoy playing it, and you wouldn't enjoy watching it, therefore. I mean, that's not a guarantee. There's plenty of playthroughs that are...
I'm detecting several squads of troops being deployed. Aerially.
I mean, there's plenty of playthroughs that are specifically good because the person playing it does not like the game. You know, there are times when we kind of revel in that frustration. I mean, Game Grumps made a whole fucking career out of it. It's just like, hey, let's play games we hate. Okay, no. They've played plenty of games that they clearly enjoy as well. Absolutely. But still, it's just, I don't think that really makes sense for this kind of channel to do, right? If I'm going to play a game, it's because either I think it's not an amazing game, but it has a lot of really interesting qualities, or because it's just a fucking fantastic game. Whereas with Return to Castle Wolfenstein, it's kind of in the middle, where it's like, it's a very good... What the... Okay, cool, thanks. Where it's a very good game, for sure, but it has all these annoying qualities to it, which just make me not want to play it. You know, I was forcing myself playing through it, and now I'm realizing, fuck, I just don't want to. So that was my mini review of Return to Castle Wolfenstein. 6 out of 10, too much something, I don't fucking know. No, it's definitely not a 6 out of 10, it's more than that, but... review scores are stupid, to be honest. I mean, like, I understand why they exist. They are actually a truly necessary part of the process because people just want something easy to parse and easy to digest. It's just like, they don't want to sit there and listen to you ramble about the fucking game for 10 hours. It's just, you know, they want, okay, is it good or not? And if it is good, how good? If it's not good, how not good? You know, because you can't just say good or bad because there's all this nuance and shit. So, I don't know. So while I don't find review scores to be, like, the most charming thing in the world, they are a necessary evil in a way. I get why some people completely reject them, but I also understand why some people embrace them, you know. Either way, yeah, this is Sprawl. Remember this game? Wow, everything is orange for some reason. Oh, shit, more dudes. I haven't really been talking about the combat too much, and that's because, I mean, it's just very standard. It's very good combat, very punchy.
The only way to our objective is directly ahead. The chatter on their systems indicate they mean to deploy 4 more squads in close proximity. Do what it takes to break through.
But what really makes this game stand out, in my opinion, is that combination of combat and movement. And it's not the only game to do it, of course. I mean, Titanfall did this shit 10 years ago. But, oh my god, I still can't believe how old Titanfall is, even though it doesn't feel old at all. And Titanfall 2 apparently had a very, very good single-player campaign. Never really played it, though, to be honest, but still. But yeah, these are the ninja enemies that I was talking about, and god, they... Ah, fuck, okay. So they're sneaky bastards, aren't they? I'm not really sure if that's actually their classification, like ninja or whatever, but they definitely behave like, you know, some fast, teleporty, sneaky motherfuckers, and that does make them quite a chore to try and take out, just because you don't really know where they really are, but that's the whole point, I get it. And with the slow-mo, I mean, you are kind of overpowered. That's a very common design trope. When you want to make sure that your game is guaranteed to be a good time, you always make the characters a bit overpowered, and then maybe try and stack the odds back against them just to make it not feel like a complete trip, right? So I can, if I wanted to, again, double the enemy damage, half my own defense, make me super weak, make it so I can barely use the thing, and I could do that. That would make the game a lot more difficult, and I don't know, this isn't, in my head, like a difficult kind of game. This is not, I don't know, I guess Celeste, no, even Celeste wasn't that hard. I've actually beaten Celeste, and it's a very fair game. I actually quite enjoy Celeste. Maybe I'll get in trouble for this, but I never really cared for the story or even the characters. I like that guy with the beard. He's cool, because I like his character portrait. I think he looks cool, and that's it. But other than that, it's just kind of like, oh, sad. I'm sad too. Cool. But the gameplay is very good. And again, I love the game's old modern look, where it's obviously like pixel art, but no game during the pixel art days looked like Celeste. It couldn't have. There's all these ripple effects, all these particles, these things that probably would not have been possible on, I mean, maybe the PS1. Maybe if you were really skilled, you could get, like, the PS1 to play it. But nothing else, you know, nothing below that. Or actually maybe the Saturn, because allegedly, even though I've yet to see it actually proven by any game, but apparently the Saturn is like a 2D powerhouse, as everyone says, which is funny because every single time there's a multi-platform game like on Saturn and PS1, the PS1 version is usually better. Or maybe that's just bias. I'm not sure. I love Sega, don't get me wrong, but it's just weird.
Never cease to amaze me. However, they must know that there is only one person that could have caused all of these casualties.
And that's me. But as I was saying, yeah, the PS1 is, I'm realizing for some reason, it's, how many years since it got discontinued? 23 years late? That the PS1 had a fucking amazing library. I'm just going through it in my head. I'm just like, wow, all of these games are amazing. Like, it had such a great variety of games, you know? It had like great racers, great platformers, great RPGs, great strategy games, great fighting games. It was just such a well-rounded system, and that I believe is so much more valuable than a couple really good exclusives. That's always gonna do better, having just a bunch of really cool shit than like one or two really cool things. I know it sounds like quantity over quality, but there's still quality. You can't have a bunch of garbage and call that good. No. It's still got to be to some extent good. I believe I have to.
The access elevator to the main water treatment facility is directly below you.
I think I'm going to be playing one more level after this, because the next thing is like, you know, the final level with the boss. It would feel kind of cheap to leave that for its own episode. I'm just going to go through it in this episode as well. Oh, episode, I say part. This game is split up into episodes. The series is split up into parts. That's how it works, you know. Yeah, so we're going to do that. So this will be a slightly longer part, but I feel like FPS games kind of, it makes sense for him to have longer episodes, you know. It's just kind of been in my head that like FPS games naturally have like the long form of gameplay, even if a lot of contemporary first-person shooter campaigns are not very long, mainly because it's ridiculously expensive to produce them, and they usually just exist to market some of the games. But this is not one of them. This is a relatively short one, but it's definitely the focus of this game. I don't even know if this game has single player. Does it? A single player. I mean multiplayer. I have no idea. Are we done? Yes, we are done. Kills 121, shots 386, and I'm not very accurate. Who would have thought?
Early scans of the treatment facility show only light patrols. This is a good sign. It means we've still got a shot at getting you to the Spire.
The Spire? You mean the Sunspire from Unreal? Oh boy, I sure hope the level isn't as confusing. Was that the confusing one, or was that Bluff Ever Smoking? Yes, I'm not even kidding. That's literally what it's called. That's one of the best levels in a first-person shooter ever, like as a name. Bluff Ever Smoking. God damn. I thought it was like just Bluff Ever Smoke, but whatever. Always like take the final few syllables off of something. Ammo, I need that. But yes, this will be our final level for this part, and this will actually be the conclusion of episode 1 of Sprawl. Because the game is split into episodes, but, you know, all the episodes are here. It's not like one of those episodic games where... Why do certain games get made into episodic series like that? I mean, other than increased sales, because you can sell multiple of them at full price. Or unless they're not full price, to be fair. Why do I feel like I'm going the wrong way? Am I going the wrong way? Yes, I absolutely am, because I remember those really fancy reflections. I have no idea if this game uses like conventional ray trace modern reflections or
the central processing nexus. There is a runoff tunnel that will lead you to one of the only dead zones in Sprawl. From here, I will be able to co-opt the transport undetected.
Okay, sir. I just need to figure out how to fucking get there. Okay, there we go. Like that, and oh shit. I'm back here. Okay. We're just gonna somehow we're gonna have to do a little bit of actual parkour here. I mean, this game does test your platforming skills, and you know, am I the only person in the world who thinks that first-person platforming is really cool? Like, maybe it's just because I played a ton of Minecraft jump maps as a kid, but I've always loved first-person platforming. I mean, third-person is more conventional for platforming, absolutely, but I find it a little unfair when everyone's just like, oh, it's shit everywhere. No, I mean, lots of games can do it well, not just Mirror's Edge in Portal, not just those, or Titanfall and this. No, even just like, well, I think it's just because Minecraft actually has an incredibly good movement engine. I've always loved the movement in that game. The weight, the exact speed at which Steve will sprint or run, those kind of things, the jump height, it all feels very calculated and very good and weighty. The reason why like Half-Life's platforming sucks is just because Quake's platforming sucks, because Quake's engine, it's not great for that, you know? Or even the Unreal Engine wasn't amazing when it came to platform. It was a little bit better, but still. So I think that's why first-person platforming generally gets a pretty bad rep, just because of games like that.
That's not good. Aim for the grenades. 7. They're weak to explosives. An ogre class. Heavy neck. No deployment recorded on their battle net. They know it's you now, and they're sending out their big guns. At least you got a souvenir.
Can you not talk over each other? He's right, though. We did get a souvenir. We get the grenade launcher. I'm not going to waste my grenades now. Actually, I'll show him just in case. You recognize that sound? That's the Quake. Well, it's not the exact same sound as Quake, but it is very similar, and I love that. It's just one of those nods where, you know, many years down the line, people might not recognize it because all of us will die out, but it's still cool that it's kind of, it's acknowledged in even a new game like this. Seriously, it makes me genuinely wonder when the influence of those kind of games will eventually dry up. And maybe it never will. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's why it's called a classic. I have to get the optical scan. Basically, I have to find this guy and take his head off and use it to... Yeah, okay, I see what I was doing wrong. Enable power to lift. And now it can go up. Oh, you dick! Get back here! Is he gonna... Yeah, okay, he's gonna come back down. Good. Come on. Let's get back on the lift. The music's really cool, though. When it's not overusing the choir parts, it is very cool. Die. Ha, you can't stick your goons after me because they're dead now, and you have no goons, and now you are gonna go... Boom. Come on. There you go.
Decapitation? That's not what I had in mind. Make your way back to central processing.
So look at that. God, this is what modern gaming is all about. Being able to depict environments like these with so few assets and such limited resources. It's insane. It's incredible, you know? That's why I don't believe like the fallacy of, oh, gaming is dead or whatever. Like some people will cynically say, it's like, no. Yeah, AAA gaming isn't as creative as it used to be, but that's because it's just too risky for it to be creative. But this isn't AAA, but it sure as hell feels like it. I think we're almost like in another golden age, really, where games made on like no budget basically feel like the $1 million games of yesterday. Like this, if you brought this like a couple years back into the past, you would be convinced that, I mean, maybe if you slightly increase the texture resolution, you would be convinced. Look at it, look at those reflections. God damn, that's nice. And it's not even making my GPU cry. Even at 1080p, 60 FPS, all that. You can actually limit the frame rate in-game with more than just VSync. You can actually use a command. In fact, let me showcase it right now. So if I want to play the game at 10 FPS, I can. I'm not sure what this engine is limited to in terms of max frame rate. If you're one of those who plays at like 240 hertz to 400 for FPS, whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's limited to 120, maybe it's limited to more or less. It's the Unreal Engine 4, I mean. So, oh, imagine it's Unreal Engine free, that would be crazy. So it's probably...
Please provide secondary retinal scan.
Well, that's one way of getting their optics.
So it's probably quite high. I haven't tested it myself. I don't even know if this game has an FPS counter. Maybe it does. Oh, maybe it has like a No. Show fog. Show ambient cube map. That's so fun. I love it when games don't hide that kind of stuff. They just let you be a little game developer just like that. It's really fun.
Ride this boat. I'll take you as close as I can to the next dock.
Like Night Dive Studios stuff, even though they're making some pretty high-profile remasters and remakes and such, they don't hide that stuff. You can just type in God mode. You can just type in fly. You can do even SV_ cheats, like all that shit, you know? Like you would back in the Half-Life days, and I love that. Like, that'll never die, or at least I hope it doesn't. I wonder what game sort of solidified the whole slide jumping thing that every modern quote-unquote old-school shooter does. You know, like this shit. So many games do that nowadays. So many games. But I wonder what was the first to do it this way. Die. I know Mirror's Edge had sliding, but it didn't have like this kind of slide jumping. It primarily it had a roll mechanic as well to prevent fall damage. That was really cool. That was such a weird game too, because like at that point, DICE were basically the Battlefield guys, you know, de facto, and yet they just went ahead and made this strange experimental first-person parkour game, and I don't know, did the game do all that well? It must have done okay because it, you know, got a sequel.
Make your way back underground. The door should unlock now.
It must have done reasonably well financially if, you know, if it got a sequel. So it couldn't have bombed. Although the sequel, how well did that game do? You know, why do I have a feeling that maybe the sequel actually did financially better, but then some external reasons made like another game never happen? You know, because that can happen too. Like with Turok, for example, Turok 2008, that weird remake. It apparently did well enough to have a sequel start production, but studio reasons, whatever the hell happened, and basically it never actually happened. That's the point. So sometimes a game's poor sales, you know, a game can sell well, and it can still not have anything happen with it. And that's really unfortunate, because at that point it's like, well, what the hell? Like, if not sales, then what else will motivate a sequel? You know, in the industry of vidges. Are we just gonna... Wait, hold on. I think I just have to get back on it and it'll take me there, right? Or do I have to do platform... Am I moving? Do I have to... No. Okay. Maybe I have to go this way. Let's find out. Oh, yep. There you go. You know, I think I'm slowly but surely jumping aboard the fuck texture filtering crowd, because I'm realizing a big part as to why this game's textures feel so crisp, you know, unless you look at them like really up close. But when you're just moving around, they still, everything looks super clear and nice and detailed and rich and textured. I think it's because of the lack of filtering, you know? Really. Nothing makes something feel more low res than it really is than when you texture filter it. Which is interesting, because the whole point of texture filtering is to do the opposite. It's trying to imitate more resolution than there really is, but it kind of fails at it, you know? That's why pretty much everyone agrees that N64 games have aged way worse visually compared to PS1 games, despite the fact that the N64 was the more capable system, technically. It wasn't about the graphics, it was about what they were. To be fair, though, it's not like the N64 forced some kind of texture filtering on. Some games don't use texture filtering. If you use a particular graphics plugin, I'm not sure which one it was. Was it Jacob or was it Glide? I'm not sure. But basically, there's a particular plugin
Sierra, India, X-Ray. I keep hearing this near Battle.net.
As I was saying, a particular plugin for Project 64 allows you to disable texture filtering. What the fuck? And some games, you'll notice, if you disable it, nothing happens. That's because they just don't use texture filtering. I believe the new Tetris doesn't use texture filtering. I love how I call it the new Tetris. It's not... Oh, I recognize this. We're finally at the boss. Oh boy, I hope this goes well, because I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what's gonna happen. But hey, there's only one way to find out. Jump in and... Yeah, so here's the thing. This is a typical weakness, like weak spot type boss fight, right? You have to shoot the weak spots. Problem is, I can never really tell whether or not a... Did he just say the exact same line twice in a row? So what you're supposed to do, I believe, is shoot these weak points until they start to produce little flames. Problem is, even after you've done that, it's kind of hard to tell whether or not you're really doing it correctly. I mean... Yeah, I'm gonna start talking over those, because he only has like 5 lines, and he just goes all... Oh, maybe... Aha! Those... Yes, okay, see... Yeah, I think we have to make all of those start smoking. Yeah, and at this point, you don't actually shoot. Oh, you do. You shoot it, you get a bunch of stuff. Problem is, he doesn't die after that. He's gonna get back up now and just enter his second phase. It's a multi-phase fight, of course. So now... we just keep doing... It's the exact same thing. This is a very simple fight. I had a lot of trouble on this fight my first time around, but now that I've slightly decreased how much damage I take, I guess it's gotten a little bit easier. And now that I understand how it works. Yeah, so you just shoot those... I have a problem with the fact that why would they have the indication of damage be something that you wouldn't even consider? Because, like, when you have these obvious thruster looking things produce flames, you're just thinking, well, that's just the effect. That's just the graphic of the flame. Not that it's... Shut up. Not that it's an indicator of damage, so I never took that as a sign that, oh, I've damaged it. I just thought, yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. But no, that's a sign that you've damaged that particular weak point. I'm gonna use all of my adrenaline because yeah, when it drops little pickups, that's generally how you know that you're making progress. I think we're gonna be just fine in this fight, even though I haven't practiced it like I wanted to, because I attempted to sort of sequence break the level that I just completed in order to get to this fight faster, but by doing that, I ended up actually getting myself lost. So, I told you, no sense of direction in these kind of games. Good thing this game is mostly very guided. Yes, I'm gonna die, I don't give a fuck. Why is my name Seven anyway? For some reason I thought it was Sven. Like S-V-E-N, I don't know, but it's Seven, obviously. No, what's wrong, Dick? I guess I have to glory kill him? No, the game doesn't communicate this very well. You just kind of shoot him in the face and... What's that over there? That just a background effect, or is that actually part of... Oh, I have to get on that. Okay, great. We're gonna get on that. And I think this is gonna be it for part 2 of Sprawl. It's quite a long episode, but that's because we had a lot to do. Now we're gonna move on to episode 2 in part 3 of Sprawl. See you guys then.